I got some good news, and then I got some more better. I got more good news. First good news is that I scored this Lionel collection. I'm probably not going to sell it all off a giant lot like I did with the N-gauge stuff because I'm trying to make an O layout. The stuff that I'm going to sell, it's available on the eBay right now. Another bit of good news is about a week later, this feller named Russ Reisinger from Q2 News, the local news station here in town, called me up and he wants to do an interview with me. And I thought, well, that sounds great. And then I thought of all the things that I haven't gotten done yet to the studio. Like, for one, I need to get some new shelves up to store all this O-gauge stuff. And two, I got to get it done before this interview, which is going to be it's supposed to be Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. So I went into the mode and decided to get some new shelves built. So in order to get ready for this great event, I decided that I need to make this display bigger. I've always wanted to do it, but if it wasn't for the last minute, I'd never get nothing done. One of the reasons that I don't like these shelves is because these brackets right here, see, they're really deep, and then the cars would hit them if they're down low, so I'm losing like this much space here. I want the shelf to be this tall, this much, just a little, just so I could, and not have that much wasted space. If I could find better brackets, that'd be great, but I can't. So I decided to make my own bracket. So now that it's Thursday, I'm going to take all this down, all the trains off, all the shelves out. We're going to have to move all the stuff on the layout over here and over here because I got the fumble fingers and I'll drop something, it'll crush a building or something like that. So I'm going to take some pictures of it so I know how to put it back together correctly. And instead of only having 3 shelves, I'm going to have 5, I'm hoping, maybe 6. And then over here on this wall, over here. Every time I open up this window, the dust blows in and makes my stuff dusty. So I might as well just put an air conditioner in here so I don't have to deal with that. So I'm just going to run shelves right across it over here too. Put them up high, do some rearranging, and just get with it. Because I need more storage space to store all these little babies. Guess it's time to, if I'm going to get it done, I got to get on it. So let's do it. I gotta get these little guys all picked up right here, because you know what? Because you know, true HO scale cars, it's like $15 to $20 a piece for them. Jeez, it's almost more than the trains. You can't find them used, but I don't want to crush one. The trees are gonna be fine. They're pretty resilient, but we gotta get those little fellers out of the way. Took me like a week to build it, and it's always and now it's boring. Strip these off. Then it's time to start fitting the new ones. So now that I have the shelves tore off the walls, what am I going to use for new ones? I need to squish it in tighter more. So I seen this stuff that they make available, this aluminum extruded shelving. Looks like this, and it's super nice. Local Dave, he's got a whole mess of it, but the price is unbelievably expensive. And I want a lot. I want like 60 feet, 70 feet, 80 feet. And I want it, I need it for the weekend because I waited till the last minute. So I designed my own shelf. Looks a lot like this. And then I took it down to my buddy who owns Empire Heating and Cooling Company. Now, what's a heating and cooling company got to do with making shelves, you should ask? Well, they're a tin shop, and I want some tin bent. They've got a 10-foot break. and they've got tin in stock. So I went down there and talked to his number 2 guy, because my buddy from high school, he's like the CEO now, and you can't just drop in and visit with him anymore. It's sad. He's got all the way to the top. So we found some metal that it's been around, and it's been around for 25 years, they told me. They had used it on a job a long time ago, and they had some extra. Sounds good. I like the color, and I left it with them, and they bent it. This video is shot not in the order that you're watching it. I'm shooting the middle parts at the end, and it's been like 4 days of trying to make this. So here's this one here. Jason come up with the idea of putting an extra bend in right here because it makes it rigid. And there's also an extra bend in right down under here, which makes this lip rigid, because tin guys know that, and I don't, because I'm not that. And I thought, man, I should market this stuff. I should sell it, come up with the price, and I can be the guy that sells the affordable shelving for, I don't know. So I'm kind of kicking around, maybe selling. This is the O gauge size. There would be a smaller size that would be for HO or S gauge, should be 2.5 instead of 3.5. So we just got to come up with what might be a decent price. So guys, we got working on it. We're seeing what we can do to make my own line of train shelves, classic model train shelves. So basically, I'm just going to show you what I went through to put this stuff up and make a display for my trains with classic model train shelves. Dreamer. I'm a dreamer. I had some of this kind of track laying around right here. I don't know what it's called. It's sure fancy. And I've got some of this right here, and it's got a couple nails in it here and there. And then I've also got a whole nother box of it somewhere that's kind of rusted out some. I'm going to peel this off, and we're going to put it on the new ones. This is the new shelving right here. And clean all this dust off. Oh my goodness. Things are so dusty. I don't know what to do. Here's kind of one of the downsides of this really nice metal, is this plastic protective that's on it. And this metal's been around for a while. Like it was bought like 5 years ago, and it's just been in storage. So the adhesive gets really adhesive-y on it. And every time it goes around like this bend right here, then you got to pick it off over here, and then you got to pick it off over here, pick it off over in the front. I'm using a hairdryer to kind of warm it up. Then you think, well, why don't they just take it off when it's a full sheet? This started off as like a 4x10 or maybe a 5x10 sheet. Well, every time they clamp it in the brake and bend it, it would leave marks in it. So this is there, so that way the metal looks really nice when it's all said and done. It's just the fact that it's so labor intensive to do. And you don't want to pay a tinner's wages, the shop hourly rate to do this, because, I don't know what their hourly rate is, 130, 140. And yeah, so it's best to just, and I got like 100 feet of it. So I'm going to be pulling this off for a while. This is about 15 minutes right there just to get that far. Huh. Yeah. I should bring it inside and get it warming up. I think I'll do that. Sitting outside. We're about halfway through the video right now. Now's an excellent time to stop and do Classic Model Trains this week's classic model. Do you guys know who this is? If you do, put it in the comments down below. If you don't, hang out till the end and I'll let you know who she is. Let's get back into it. So I've got one shelf up here right now, and I set this height right here for a very specific reason. My thermostat there for the electric heat, it needs a little airflow up in the top up there a little bit. So I set it up above that just some. Now I've got this Gargraves track, and I'm going to use some pure 100% silicone caulk, clear stuff, just some, on just a few ties underneath here to keep it centered. It's going to be centered on the track, and it's going to be going down there. Once we get that on, put a car on there, check the height, see what we need so we can put the next shelf on, and up and up and up we go. Just some, just a little. It's all a guy needs. It's coming along. I put these screws in on 16 inches on center. They're actually into the studs. One there, here, here. So we can put a lot, you know, these locomotives, they're 3-4 pounds. If you get 6-8 of them on a shelf, yeah, you got a lot of weight there. So I wanted to make sure it's tied in really, really good. So I use these screws right here, 1.25 inch metal screws. Now they don't have that little drill bit on the end of them, but they can start a hole and go through the metal. And when you got the Phillips bit on the end of your screwdriver, on your drill, and you're holding it with the other hand, sometimes the drill bit will spin off, and then you'll jam that Phillips head right into your finger and bleed and bleed and bleed. Oh my goodness. So then you got to sit there and make yourself a Band-Aid so you can stop your bleeding out and you can get back to work without getting stuff all over the place. You know, Band-Aids, where you just get a paper towel and you tear a little square off and then you get some electrical tape and tape it onto your finger. So that way, you know, you can go back to work while you're bleeding out. Yeah, Band-Aids. I just got done putting the first one on, and my little laser line, that looks pretty dang good. I just measured off of up in here. So if the first one's square or straight and level and plumb with the earth, I'm going to measure off of it with a very specific measuring device for the next shelf. So I'm glad that my framing is nice. On to shelf number 2. So I've got 3/4 inch. These are like the tallest, the O gauge stuff right here with these ones. So my very specific measurement device is just right on. It is exactly 1 beer can high for spacing. This is a 3/4 inch lip right here, sitting on top of the Gargraves track. So we're gonna screw the next one down and just keep on keeping on, because that's exactly what I wanted right there. So now that I've done 2 of these shelves, I come to find out a little easier way to get all this stuff off is to take the old X-Acto knife right down this edge here, all the way down to cut that plastic. And then you got to warm it up just a little bit. And then the hardest part is just getting started, because you got to pick and pick and pick at it. Then once you get going, you lift up this side, work it off, try not to rip it. But the heat is the real key. You pull off the little bit that's on the back side here. There's like a 1/4 inch strip right here. This is the stiffener for the rear. You do the same with the face. And with this, you just try to work a big chunk of it back, and then you'll pull it and peel it off the front. Quite a long, drawn out process. And there it is. We're getting faster. That one only took about 12, 15 minutes, I guess. So it's got a real nice copper, like a new copper penny shape to it. I'm gonna bolt this one up to the wall, measuring it out, same distance. I find using my old 1x4 boards and clamping down on top of that Gargraves track with the silicone into it gets it to sit better. Locks it in. I've always had this bad habit of waiting until later on to finish any project. And this is one of those things right here also. I just didn't put the one last board. Oh, I didn't finish a lot of this stuff, but here's another good reason to build a good layout with 3/4 inch plywood on the top, because I can walk on it. But I got to get this all nailed in here. Hopefully this is gonna do what I want it to do, and I can get that last shelf put up. So I'll have a total of 6 of these little buggers. Where is my nail set? Oh man. Keep on keeping on. In order to set these in, I am going to fill up the center here with, oh, did I not? I gotta pop this thing. Oop, right there, some. Not much, some. And then when I flip it over, I'm gonna put some cars on it, and that's gonna hold our track down after it dries. It's hard to do one-handed. Well, that came out pretty decent right there, I gotta tell you. Friday night, about 8:30 right now. Just starting to put some tools away. I think we're gonna build a shelf, like shelves right over there for the S-gauge stuff. I still need more room. But I gotta start putting this layout back together. You can see the dust. Oh man, my God, there's so much filth on here. Unbelievable how nasty these things can get. I hate it, hate it. I guess I'll use a vacuum and a brush, and I'll sit here and hand vacuum each one off. Holy moly. Reminds me of modeling as a kid. You'd build a model, and then you'd show it, and then it would get dusty, and then you'd get mad at it and then throw it away. I used up all my tin on this one over here. I'd used an entire sheet. I think it was 4 by 10 to make these shelves right through there. So now I'm going to recycle my old 1x4s that were up there, cut them down, and use them for the S-gauge display so that the boys, you know, we didn't leave anybody out. We got the HO, well, I guess the N. We missed out on the N stuff. But so I'll start cutting those up and getting those installed on the wall. Wish I would have planned a little better. I cut up my boards, not having a plan, and then I didn't have enough length of the boards left over for the length of the table I needed, so we had to do a quick run down to the Home Depot. Is that blade dull or what? Never really liked painting, but man, it sure does make a nice difference when you do it. Of course, I like to put it on as thick as humanly possible and get it done in about 3 to 4 minutes, because I don't have the patience. I think I found this paint in the mixed up color paint section. All I wanted was just the color of dirt. All up here, our dirt is all clay. So this is what our dirt would actually look like. So that's why I went with that. It's probably the primary color of the layout. Blends well with everything else. I have to let this flash off a little bit, dry, whatever this kind of paint does. Then I gotta paint the bottom. Dang it. I gotta clean the brush twice. It just seems excessive. So I'm going to go and have 4 hot wings. And I think by the time I get those down, this will be ready to flip over and paint again. These brackets right here, they come from the Home Depot. I don't know what they're used for, but I use them as shelf brackets. We're gonna go in like this with them, and I'm gonna measure them so that they're all the same. You put them together up here 3 inches in on the ends, and I'm gonna make the brackets match what's already up here. See, there's brackets, okay, so that when you stand back and look at it, they're all in a row. They're all doing what they're supposed to do. So we're gonna get 2 more shelves up in that area, so we have a really nice S-gauge display as well. Got all my brackets on the back of the board already. We got our leveler devices installed up here. They're a little different than the other one. I just needed to be held just a little so I can get a screw or 2 in. It'd be nice to get this layout put back together. Feels like it's been forever. I'm all out of beer cans because it's Sunday now, and they got used last night. Finished screwing this in, put some Gargraves S-gauge track up there. I got some stuff to put up there. I'm gonna lift this light up. Both these lights are a little low now. On to the next step. Trying to make her pretty in here. I started on this on Wednesday, and today's Sunday now, so it took 5 days of farting around, making this video, jumping back and forth. I didn't do anything for consistency, so I have like 7 different sets of clothes on the whole time. But this is what we got going on now. And when I first got done putting it up and then I looked at it, I thought to myself, addiction much? There does seem to be a bit of a problem here, I'm thinking, huh? So Maybe it's a bad idea to put all your stuff up on the wall and then you can see it all. If a guy wants to make shelves, tin shelves, you can follow these instructions. Go down to your local tin shop, your heating and cooling place, and they can make them for you. I'm going to look into seeing what it takes to build the shelves. I think that the bad part is going to be shipping, because you want them to be long as you can be. 10-foot break. I hear they make longer ones, 12 foots, but it can't go UPS or mail. It'd have to almost go freight truck. And then in order to make it worthwhile, you'd have to have like 100 feet of it delivered. And we're kind of already guessing it'd probably be, I don't even know. I can't even say it. I know it's going to be cheaper than the aluminum stuff. This sure makes it nice. It makes it nice. This shelf here, how do I get my arm in the shot? There we go. This shelf right here, I built this one also. I'm going to put a link at the end of this video to go to this video on how to build a shelf, because this one was really pretty straightforward and easy to do for the HO stuff. The O stuff here, a little tougher. It's got to be built a little stronger for sure. Oops, look over on this side of the camera. Golly. Sorry we didn't do a resurrection or revival this weekend. I thought I'd be able to do them both. Do this, get ready for that interview with the news station, and then do a revival, and it didn't work out that way at all. This was a lot tougher than I thought it was going to be. Longer, but the layout is completely clean now. All dusted and cleaned up and shiny. Once a year kind of thing, I guess, to do those. But I like it. My hand's in the way. Finish editing this thing up, get it put to bed so it can come out for you guys on Monday morning. And then we'll find out how that interview goes. Hopefully it still happens. My luck, something always changes, and bigger news stories could be coming up or something. I don't know. So I'll see if I can get the footage or link to the footage, or can I shoot my own footage while they're here? I'm going to look into it and probably have something come up on Thursday. Probably a revival, since I missed it on Monday. We'll have one of them coming up on Thursday. And I got lots of stuff to keep sending out to guys that've been buying things. The eBay store's been going really well. It's doing really good. Thank you, everybody, with all your support. I got a whole nother new angle to shoot here in the studio. So I got to put better lighting on it, though, of course. Makes me look younger. We're going to go into some of our patriotic themed outfits, the layouts, the things that some guys have been sending in. This first one here came from Kevin Culkin, I believe it is. He's got some of the lifelike bicentennials, the Tycho bicentennials, and he's got the Bachman bicentennial sets. These all came out in 74, 75. And then, of course, they've been on the used market ever since. And then this one here, a great video, came in from Richard Owens. It's got a wonderful pair of these. I don't know what they are. I couldn't tell, but they look good. The layout looks great. Absolutely loving it there for sure. This week's classic model, Sophia Loren. Yep. So it is that little hot rod Italian gal from back in the day. If you got that one right, give yourself a thumbs up. I want to thank all the 33%ers for hanging out with us. Got a little bit of a different video we did this week. See if I can get another one knocked out for Thursday. I'm Ron, Classic Model Trains. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.